Hello folks, and welcome to our July edition of our Market Chats video. I'm Rodney Hathaway, Chief Investment Officer here at Waukesha State Bank Wealth Management. Summertime here in Wisconsin is for relaxation and enjoying the many natural resources the state has to offer. Considering that the One Big Beautiful Bill was signed into law by President Trump on July 4th, many of us feel that we can enjoy the back half of this favorite season of ours without the budget debate hanging over our heads. Let's delve into some of the details that will be of interest to many of you. First and foremost, the individual tax rates that were reduced back in 2017 and were set to revert to higher levels next year were made permanent. That means taxpayers can breathe a sigh of relief that rates will not go up in 2026. A key provision for individuals is the state and local tax deduction, commonly known as SALT, will increase from $10,000 to $40,000 beginning this year. This will be especially beneficial for residents living in high personal income tax states like California and New York. The no tax on overtime pay will be a boon for individuals making less than $150,000 per year. Another unique feature of the bill is that interest on car loans will now be deductible starting in 2025 for automobiles made here in the U.S. For seniors that are drawing Social Security, you can now claim a $6,000 deduction that will help offset a significant portion of the taxes being paid on your benefits. For companies, the flat corporate tax rate that was reduced to 21% in 2017 is also made permanent. We believe this feature of the bill will solidify the trillions of dollars of committed capital that will be invested in the economic infrastructure of the U.S. As we outlined in last month's video chat, there has been announcements of roughly $5.5 trillion of foreign direct investment committed to the U.S. These companies and nations that have committed that capital will now be able to better plan for their future investments now they have a clear roadmap on tax policy. 100% bonus depreciation deduction in the first year, beginning in 2025, should help spur capital investment projects. There will also be enhanced tax benefits for companies that provide child care benefits for employees, up to $600,000 deduction for small businesses, which should encourage employers to support working families. While we have highlighted today several of the key benefits to individuals and businesses that are contained in the bill, it hasn't been without controversy. Recall in May, our chat discussed some of the budget proposals that specifically made cuts to the discretionary budget. In its final version, there will be cuts to programs like Medicare and Medicaid. However, the intent of these cuts is to streamline and make more efficient the execution of these programs. For example, there are now minimum work requirements for able-bodied adults who wish to continue receiving Medicaid benefits. We believe these new requirements only make sense as we attempt to rein in the uncontrolled government spending that has been taking place for decades. In reality, any cuts to government overspend will have a very marginal effect on our annual federal deficit of roughly $1.7 trillion. The only clear path, in our opinion, to bringing our federal budget closer to break even is to accelerate economic growth. Our current annual budget deficit is about 6% of gross domestic product. We need to get that ratio closer to 4% or less. The best way to reach that goal is to incentivize individuals and companies to invest for growth, which should spur economic activity here in the U.S. If GDP growth can improve to around 4% per year and outpace inflation, we as a nation will have a reasonable chance to grow our way out of our current debt situation. Economists are debating whether this acceleration in growth can occur while keeping inflation in check. At the current time, it appears that inflation is greatly subdued, which is why the White House has been anxiously awaiting the Federal Reserve to continue its short-term interest rate cutting cycle. A lower interest rate environment should allow the U.S. Treasury to refinance its debt at more favorable levels, which will alleviate a significant portion of that annual budget deficit. Stay tuned as we monitor what transpires over the rest of the summer and with trade and interest rates. Thank you for tuning in this month to our Market Chats video, and please reach out with any questions you may have.